and welcome to the second episode for our documentary true crime section of Patreon. And in this month, we're going to be discussing The Man with 1,000 Kids. This was on Netflix, and um, this is again as a recording note. We're going to be covering this documentary in two different episodes. So you're going to get this one this week, and then the second half will come out next week. And we're going to be covering episodes 1.5 of 2 in this episode, and the next week we'll be doing the second half of episode 2 and 3. So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's jump into it. So episode 1, bear with me with names. I will kind of figure it out as we go. But bear with me. So we're in the Netherlands. We're with this couple, same-sex couple. I don't remember her partner's name, but Natalie is one of them. But we're with them. We don't talk about the ex, y'all. We don't talk about the ex. We just don't. And we also meet Vanessa. So we're kind of meeting like our core people. We also meet Vanessa. She says that she's always wanted to have kids. I believe Vanessa is a lesbian as well. So she says she always wanted to have kids. I don't think she was in a relationship. So, she was doing it on her own. We meet Joyce and John. We find out a little bit about them. John had 3 kids from a previous marriage, and following that, he had a vasectomy. Then he got married to Joyce, who's younger than he is, wanted to have kids, and he unfortunately could not get his vasectomy reversed, so he kind of had to do something a little different. So we'll get back to that in a little bit. So Natalie and her partner, she says like she wants to have kids. She, however, does not want to have sex with men. No, thank you. She says, ew. But she does not want to use a sperm bank as well. Sperm banks are very expensive, which is understandable. She says she also wants to see the man face to face. She wants to see the sperm for which she's using, where they come from. So she goes to this website that's called, what's the website called again? It was looking for a baby or trying for a baby or something like that. Longing for a baby or longing for, yeah. And on this website, she sees like there's all these men who want to donate their sperms. This is great. This is perfect. And she's like, you could email those men directly to, potentially meet up with them, see what we're working with here. So she's like, those email exchanges, they could get weird. Because like they would ask like, do you want to do it the natural way? Why are men so sucky? Like, can't you just not be weird or not try to get your dick wet? Like, really? Anyways, that's kind of was her experience initially. So she says that we meet this guy who, like, this kind of bothers me a little bit, and I'll kind of get to it as when I've kind of found the right opportunity. But she says, like, they meet this guy, and when they meet him in person, yikes, it's just not at all what they want. He's bald. Ew. He couldn't even have the decency to wear a hat, like, you know what I mean? And he had like a scar on the back of his head as well, which I guess to them was off-putting, but I'm also thinking, but can he like control the fact that he has a scar on the back of his head? Maybe there was an accident that caused him to not be able to grow hair and has the scar on the back of his head. Like, what the hell? Maybe his swimmers are really good and that's the main point of all of this. Anyways, so because of all of that, she's like, not you. Not gonna be you. She's like, I will not procreate with him. Then we meet Nicolette, who also use longing for a child. That's what's called longing for a child. Um, and we're gonna find out more about her as we go along as well. Then although I think I'm incorrect. Nicolette is the lesbian. Vanessa is not. She's a straight woman, but not in a relationship. And Nicolette is a lesbian, not in a relationship. Um, then find another guy. They mention that I think is Natalie and her partner. They find another guy. His name is Martin or Martine, and he's pretty, y'all. He's pretty. He has everything that they want. Pretty hair, just those beautiful blonde locks. It's just great. But Martine is also not his real name. It's actually Jonathan. So then we get the joys of seeing his YouTube channel, which more on that later. We watch him eating raw meat. Did I need to? No, I didn't. The fuck? First of all, hey, is that even healthy to just eat raw beef like that? Anyway, so everyone is meeting him. Vanessa, Nicolette, everyone seems to be matching with him, with Jonathan. And again, everyone's like, he's so gorgeous. He has nice teeth, nice hair. Oh God, I hope our kids have that beautiful head of hair. Okay. Then Jonathan, this idiot, has a video about how to have great hair. And I'm like, mayonnaise? My God. Um, and he's like, I spent weeks in the forest. Good for you. Didn't care. And he has like another video on there. It's like, I can tell you how to learn a language in 15 minutes. And I'm like, it's not even freaking possible, because then I would be fluent as hell in both French and Spanish. And I'm not. Not even close. Anyway, he was apparently building a school in Kenya because he is a humanitarian, y'all. So he's building a school in Kenya. No, more on the Kenya later. Um, he had a friend who was infertile. He said this is kind of the thing, I guess, that motivated him into donating. And he said he wanted to help, with building families because of that. So that's why he did this. Just out of goodness of his heart. And he tells Natalie and her partner that he had 2 kids already, and he only wanted to help 5 families in total. This is what he's kind of telling her, or telling them. And when we find out, he also tells John and Joyce, he tells Nicolette, he tells Vanessa, and anyone else that's going to follow. This is kind of the thing that he says to everybody. So some of them would put the sperm, like when they would collect the sample, they would put it in between their legs to keep it warm, because you need to keep the sperm warm in order to keep it alive. Joyce is kind of going through her experience of what she had to do one time when she had to pick up the sample. It was basically, he would jerk off in a cup, you would come and pick it up, and then you'd go inseminate it yourself if you were doing it in this way. And Joyce is basically saying, yeah, I got lost. Well, the first time I think she had to do this. So she had to basically, because she's like, the sperm is dying as we speak. So she had to park her car in the street. And for some reason, she has a syringe ready to go in her car, and inseminated herself in her car while being stopped at the side of the road because she's in traffic. I mean, I mean, I mean, you do what you gotta do, I understand that. But shit. So, Natalie and her partner, they had, unfortunately, 2 failed attempts of trying to get pregnant. So, they're like, you know what? Maybe instead of us going to him picking up a sample, maybe we can have him come to us, do the collecting of the sample at their place. So this is what he did. He went to their house, gets goes to do it, and they're like, God, fuck, he took forever. 45 minutes, roughly, to get it done. And I'm thinking, what? I mean, does shouldn't it take, I know a man, I don't have a penis, but I feel like anyone that I have witnessed, at least jerk off, or when I've heard, they will do it, it takes a lot shorter than that. There's no way if it took 45 minutes. He was snooping their medicine cabinet, wasn't he? There's no way. 45 minutes? I mean, that's great if you're having sex. Go for it. 45 minutes is preferable. 45 minutes jerk off, though? Like, what? That's weird. So with Nicolette, he was sending her. Okay, so I was right the first. Yeah, no, I'm right the second time. Nicolette, he was. It was Nicolette. Did I say Nicolette? Okay, Vanessa. I'm fine, y'all. Vanessa is our lesbian single, and Nicolette is the heterosexual single. Okay, so Nicolette, apparently he was sending her flirty messages, and unfortunately with Nicolette, she doesn't really view herself in maybe the way that maybe others would view her. She kind of is like, no one wanted to stay with her. No one found her desirable. And how could anyone kind of see me as attractive? Like, she seems to have very low self-esteem. So when Jonathan fucking knows it too, he's flirting with her, telling her all of these things that she maybe longs to hear but doesn't hear. So he's playing to that. So when he went to her place to donate the cup, he says, "You know what? I'm gonna up your package. Do you want to do it the natural way instead?" Basically meaning, do you want to fuck? And we can do it that way. And she's like, well, I guess that makes sense. It's a better chance because this is what they get told. Doing it the natural way, it's better chances. This is what Kyle Gordy, as we know, did during when we saw him in Love in Paradise. This is what he did. This is what we're kind of seeing probably Jonathan did as well. And it's just like, I mean, how is it any different than doing it the quote unquote artificial way? Like, I know, like, the being like penetrated in that sense, or being stimulated, I think is the right term to be using in this case, is beneficial for the insemination process. But goddamn, she can do that herself. She doesn't need you to do that. You know what I mean? Anyway, Vanessa was pregnant the first time, but she did lose the pregnancy. And the second time she was pregnant. Nicolette, she got pregnant right away. So I guess natural is the way to go. Who knew? Whatever. Anyway, everyone is just getting pregnant left, right, and center by Jonathan. And we're then with the Izala Fertility Clinic, I believe that's how you say it. They actually have a sperm bank on site at this clinic. And this doctor, the fertility doctor that's here, he's like, you're not allowed to donate with other clinics when you work with this clinic because it's a way to prevent too many children being created from your sperm. And they also say in the Netherlands, you're only able to have 25 kids. You can't exceed that. But they say they found a donor who was actually deceiving them and was donating with other clinics. Wonder who that is. And he said the reason that you can only have 25 kids is to avoid half siblings having children together, which is something that we are going to hear kind of those fears and everything popping up throughout the series with the parents. So we'll kind of get a little more on that. So then Vanessa is talking to a friend one day, minding their own business, who apparently also had a donor baby. And they're like, oh yeah, who's the dad? Oh, that dad is Jonathan. They figure out through conversation that the father of both of their kids is Jonathan. Then there was another friend 2 years later who apparently said, oh, our kids look the same. Oh, yeah? That's because the father is Jonathan. Then there's another fucking friend who apparently had a niece who used a donor to get pregnant. Oh, by the way, they also look the same. Oh, because why? Jonathan. So she's starting to realize, wow, there is so many connections with me alone of people who used Jonathan as their donor. Then there are talks of a second child with Jonathan. Apparently, well, what some of the moms wanting to have second child with Jonathan. Natalie apparently asked him, so how many do you have now after having their one child? It's been maybe a couple of years. They're like, oh, how many kids do you have now? He says 25. And the thing is Natalie's like, oh, damn. But even with being told that and kind of having that initial hesitation, they agree, we're going to go ahead anyways. And again, like, it's not their fault. They don't know the rules. But it's just like, yikes. So Nicolette apparently was trying as well to have another child with Jonathan, but he would vanish whenever it was pertinent that he be there. And he was also vanishing on Natalie as well. Same situation. It's pertinent. We're ovulating and you're not here. Um, so we're kind of starting to stalk his YouTube channel. Because the thing with his YouTube channel, he has all these weird fucking videos, but also it shows he's in different places, different countries. So they're kind of having an idea of, oh, he's not even in the Netherlands. He's in, I don't know, Timbuktu. So this is kind of what they're saying. So one of the videos they see is him talking about crypto and Bitcoin. Fucking lovely. God damn it. Like, not only is this guy just the epitome of just god damn, but you're also going to be talking about Bitcoin and crypto. Sounds about right. Yep, he fits the bill. And we can see, like I mentioned already, that he's been traveling. So he tells Natalie, okay, I'm here in the Netherlands. Come meet me for the sperm at the mall. Come to the mall where there are shoppers and shit and come get the sample. What the fuck? Meanwhile, she's at the mall while he's jerking off in a stall bathroom to go give her the sample. What is happening? Like, usually you go to the mall because you want to buy clothes or food or whatever. You want to go sit on Santa's lap if it's Christmas time, not to get sperm. That's a new one. So she says that they still did the insemination, but they said they were going to be stopping after this. And I believe it wasn't successful, so that was kind of it. They weren't going to be trying again. They gave that up. Joyce and John had their second child with him, so they did this again with him. 2017, there are new clips, or news clips. A man donates to 11 clinics, has over 100 kids. And guess who they're talking about on the news, y'all? It's Jonathan. Then we have a Facebook group that's popping up now with the moms and everything, of all the people who use Jonathan as a donor because they're trying to be like, oh, let's build like the connections between everybody and Jonathan and figure out how many kids this crazy man has. So we then meet Kate and Laura, who are in Australia, and they have two kids. Two kids.